If it means saving her Amazon sisters, will Princess Diana be willing to delve into the deep, dark depths of the labyrinth, and what horrors will she find inside? Well, let's hop into the pages of Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 9 and catch up together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Dr. Poison had attempted to bargain with Wonder Woman. Her freedom from Veronica Cale and the US military in exchange for information about the missing Amazons. Of course, as Poison finds out at the beginning of this issue, Diana is not one for negotiating. Wonder Woman basically says, you're going to solve this problem with these Tetra spiders and tell me what I want to know, or I'm going to splatter you all over the pavement down below. If that seems overly violent and obsessive for Wonder Woman, don't worry, it's actually part of a big theme of this story moving forward. This threatening ends up paying off dividends as Poison gets hard to work trying to deactivate the Tetra spider. She also notes that isn't it interesting that Wonder Woman in this situation seems to show more understanding and sympathy for the ancient monster that is the Tetracide than she does a person in this situation, being Dr. Poison. Granted, Wonder Woman doesn't know that Dr. Poison is literally just a poison cloud in a suit, but I digress. As Wonder Woman so eloquently puts it, despite all the destruction the Tetracide caused, she bore it no ill will. After all, it was a creature only doing what was within its own instinct. The people who weaponized its dying cry, however, they certainly should know better, and they're the ones who should worry about Wonder Woman's wrath, and indeed, wrath is exactly what Wonder Woman delivers to Dr. Poison. You see, even after Wonder Woman gets the information that Poison promised, she uses magic to turn the Tetra spiders against their master. Which, geez, you know, if Dr. Poison wasn't a Wonder Woman villain before now, she certainly will be moving forward. Now, what was this information, you might be wondering? Well, as Poison explains, deep under Area 41, Veronica Cale's military installation, there lies a maze, something older and more mysterious than those had ever seen before, a place that the government has been dropping its enemies, failed experiments, and outsiders for a long time now. Word is that an Amazon actually does live within the maze, something that was there long before the government found it. Wonder Woman returns to her base of operations, the Huron, to ready for a break-in, and also I can't believe I didn't notice it before, but the Huron totally looks like the old Hall of Justice building if it was only made out of bones. Now, Steve Trevor begins to think that Wonder Woman is being a little brash with her course of action. If she's willing to wait just a little bit, Steve thinks he can pull some strings with his governmental contacts to hopefully get them all inside, but Wonder Woman isn't hearing any of it. In fact, she says that there is nothing she wouldn't do, no line she wouldn't cross, and no horror she wouldn't jump headlong into if it meant saving her sisters. It's also here too, Steve begins to wonder if that also means leaving him high and dry should push come to shove. Now, as Diana readies her next magical ritual, she actually has a fun little side conversation with Barbara and Etta about a manticore head she has on her wall. Apparently, this thing is incredibly powerful and needs to be killed 3 times, once for each head, before it's truly gone. Wonder Woman mounted one head after a battle, and now she's waiting for the day that it might end up reforming and fight her all over again, or at least that's the way the legend has been told. Etta and Barbara wonder, is every legend they've ever heard true, only for Wonder Woman to say, well, in my situation they are. Wonder Woman completes her portal spell and ends up jumping directly into the maze. They actually do a really cool effect here where it's so dark inside the maze that the only thing we can see is Wonder Woman's bright red eyes. This place also seemingly has no exit, meaning that as far as Diana is concerned, this has been a one-way trip. No doubt trapping her was probably part of Poison's plan from the very beginning, but at the same time, Wonder Woman did hear truth in the woman's voice. And indeed, this place is filled with all sorts of horror and wonder. Over in the next room, Wonder Woman hears a massive fight taking place between a Minotaur and a group of fishmen. Diana admits that in this situation she doesn't actually know who is friend and foe in this situation, but after waiting on in, she soon realizes that the Minotaur, whose name we learn later is Ferdinand, haha, like Ferdinand the Bull, is actually only trying to defend a little girl named Petra from the fishmen, though as we discover later, Petra isn't any regular little girl, she's actually a little siren. With Wonder Woman's help, Ferdinand is able to send the fishman running, but they need to move before more show up. It's in his conversation with Wonder Woman we learn that Ferdinand has actually lived his entire life in this maze, implying maybe that he is the Minotaur of Greek mythology. At first, Diana's heart breaks for this poor guy who has never seen the sun and never lived outside these stone walls, but Ferdinand doesn't let it get him down, saying that how can I miss or be sad about something that I have never known. Eventually, the subject is broached about missing Amazons, and Ferdinand does admit that there is a powerful woman who lives in the maze and who is trying her hardest to wrestle control of it away for herself. In fact, she's the one who sent the fish people after Petra in the first place. What's her name? Well, none other than Queen Clea, again, another original Wonder Woman villain from the Milton Marsden days. In fact, this lady used to be a rogue queen of Atlantis. Long before that city fell beneath the waves. Now she's stuck in the labyrinth, and Wonder Woman's next great foe she's going to need to overcome if she ever hopes to escape as the comic comes to a close. And so that was Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 9, everybody. Another consistently awesome issue in what is becoming a consistently awesome series. I really appreciate the character work that Kelly Thompson does for Diana in this particular issue. We've seen her be so merciful, so good-natured and friendly, and yet here we see a completely different side of her. It seems that when it comes to the Amazons, Wonder Woman can actually be quite stubborn, quite bullheaded, and even a little dismissive of her friends. Again, you like to see that depth and complexity, and you know this is one of those character flaws that she's going to need to overcome if she wants to continue her mission. Art-wise, this one's another absolute banger too. I absolutely love what they do with shadows and darkness within the maze itself. We're also only 9 issues in, and this series is doing a great job establishing Wonder Woman with a real-deal rogues gallery inspired by pretty much everything that's come in her publication history. At this rate, we might actually see a full-on new version of Villainy Inc. before we know it. Overall, I would give this one a very positive 8.5 out of 10. Great stuff, cannot wait to see what they do next. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.